On June 8th, the world learned of a surprise hostage rescue operation in central Gaza. That morning, Israeli forces stormed 2 buildings in the Nuseirat refugee camp. In one building was Noah Argamani, one of the first faces of the hostage crisis. In a second building, roughly 200 yards away, 3 more hostages, Almog Merjan, Andrei Kozlov, and Shlomi Ziv, were also held by Hamas. During the operation, the IDF said their forces came under fire from guns and rocket-propelled grenades. They said 1 soldier was killed during the fighting. Additional details from the IDF are scarce, but for more than an hour, ground and air support fired on multiple targets across central Gaza. After 246 days in captivity, 4 hostages were reunited with their families in Israel. But within hours, reports emerged describing the devastating cost of the raid on Palestinian civilians. NBC News spoke to survivors on the ground to understand how a targeted rescue operation aimed at saving 4 hostages killed and injured hundreds of Gazans. Around 11 a.m., Issam Jamil said he saw a white van parked outside an apartment building. The 3 male hostages were being held on the 3rd floor.
I went to the market to buy yogurt and other things. A truck arrived filled with furniture. 2 men got out of the truck and stood at the gate of the house. We thought nothing, so we kept talking.
Here's the street. This is precisely where the car stood.
About 5 blocks away, Salah Khalil El-Shar said he was in his repair shop just up the street from the building Noah was in.
A truck came and stopped there, and 6 people came out of it. One of them had a beard and was wearing traditional men's clothing. They entered the house on this side.
Once the operation began, eyewitnesses said Israeli troops shot at civilians.
They shot me in the chest. The bullet entered my chest and left from the other side. Another bullet entered my side and exited the other side.
Abdurrahman Khalil was trapped with a neighbor inside his store across the street from where the 3 male hostages were rescued. This video was taken moments after he said his neighbor was shot.
Look here. This is his blood. He was leaning against the wall and I couldn't do anything for him until he fell to the ground. They blew up the truck. Then they targeted surrounding houses, and finally they destroyed the house. It took them 5 minutes to finish the operation.
They were speedy, and the shelling began. They struck that house and our neighbor's house before they leveled this building.
Witnesses described a prolonged shelling campaign by the Israeli military.
Planes and tanks bombed the place for a full hour. These are the effects of the shell. My husband and son kept bleeding here, and my other son was in the street bleeding as well.
Videos verified by NBC News and eyewitness accounts detail evidence of Israeli attacks across a large area of central Gaza during the mission. In one video, people are fleeing south from a market on Nuseirat Road, approximately a quarter of a mile from the hostage rescue. Further down Nuseirat Road, explosions are seen along that same market.
In just seconds, a first shell dropped and landed on the market, and after that, a torrent of shells. Honestly, indiscriminate shelling. I had never witnessed such an event in my life.
And in a video released by the IDF, a group of paratroopers with tanks and armored vehicles are seen positioned 1 mile away. The IDF did not respond to questions regarding the choice of targets or tactics used during the operation.
We were surprised by occupation aircraft firing heavily towards the entrance, west of the city of Nuseirat. There are thousands of displaced people here. There were many tanks, about 32 to 33 tanks. The tanks were moving at an insane speed.
Noor Abu Khamis was in a tent encampment over a mile away from where the hostages were being held. She said Israeli helicopters opened fire on their camp.
They deprived me of my beloved son. What is the guilt of an 8-year-old? They killed him. He didn't have any weapon. Was he going to shoot at them? They told us it's safe. There are no safe places in Gaza. All civilians are exposed to danger.
I couldn't leave. As I opened the door, we were shot directly by a helicopter.
Sahar Sleya and her 4-year-old son Tawfiq were closer to the rescue operation. They were trapped in her cousin's apartment during the assault.
I was holding him, and he was shivering and scared. A beam of light appeared. I saw blood on his face. I saw part of his brain out. I took him and started running.
His 4 years old child with brain out.
Tawfiq was about to be laid among the dead. But suddenly, signs of life. Tawfiq was in the ICU for 5 days. He died on June 12th.
Tawfiq lived through 3 wars. His brother's death and his sister's death. I say that Tawfiq had not seen anything other than war.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.